What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. And you can feel free to like, to share, and to subscribe to the channel. And of course, you want to hit that notification bell. And also, I call your attention to the Super Thanks feature that is on all of my videos. It allows you to contribute to the channel. If I have entertained you, if I've made you think, then you might want to consider helping the channel to grow by giving me that special love gift. Isn't that what they call it on some of these churches? That special love donation, you know? So I would appreciate it, guys. But of course, you guys know, I just appreciate you being here. Now, let's break something down here, guys. I want to talk to you some more about the whole Black Panther controversy. You guys know the trailer for Wakanda Forever has recently dropped, and it's caused a lot of controversy because now people are slowly beginning to understand that it might be a bit of a letdown to not have the T'Challa character in the franchise moving forward. You see more and more people. It's been trending. They're talking about this thing. And of course, you know, you got the people who will come in and say, listen, you just got to see the movie. It's the only way you're going to know. You just have to wait and see. Of course, we know. You have to wait and see. It's the only way we're going to know. But at the same time, there are certain things, guys, there are certain principles that you can actually see. If you have a critical mind, you do understand that if something is called the Black Panther, then you probably want to see the Black Panther. And the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman, of course, it did complicate matters, and it was tragic, it was sad, it was heartbreaking, but I already went over in the last video how I truly believe, and a bunch of us who have been talking about this, believe that Chadwick himself would want the character to continue. Okay, so I believe it's a huge mistake, it's a huge missed opportunity, and you know, we're just going to go forward with it. The movie is made, it's going to be released, and you know, just to put it out there, like I said in the other video, the movie can be entertaining. The movie can be good. There's a lot of talent in this movie, but it's not going to be what it should be. And I do believe that we have at least one cast member who's trying to tell us that, all right, who actually is in line with what I'm saying, but of course they're saying it for a different reason. So let's get into this, guys. We have Winston Duke, who sounded off recently, and Winston Duke, you guys might know, he played M'Baku in the first Black Panther movie, and I think a couple of the Avengers movies. Now he's saying, and he has some advice for those of us going in to see this movie. Okay, so let's get into this, guys. This was in thedirect.com, and it says, Black Panther 2 actor wants fans to alter their expectations. Black Panther 2 actor wants fans to alter their expectations. Guys, why do we keep seeing this over and over again? You have people telling us as the audience, you should lower your expectations. You should alter your expectations. You shouldn't have any expectations. There used to be a book out. It was a classic called Great Expectations. I believe they're going to adapt that to the big screen with a few changes. They're going to call it No Expectations. That's what they're going to be calling it, because that seems to be what the advice is now. When you go to the movies, don't expect anything, even though you're paying your hard-earned cash. So, Winston Duke says you should alter your expectations. Let's get into this. Black Panther Wakanda Forever may be Marvel Studios' toughest venture yet, as director Ryan Coogler tries to follow the success of his 2018 flick without the late Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa. Not only was Black Panther a financial and critical hit, for reasons, but we'll get into that in a minute, but it proved to be a game changer for both representation in Hollywood and the worldview on African cultures. Following Boseman's passing, Wakanda Forever will mark a paradigm shift for the franchise as Letitia Wright's Shuri steps up to first billing and reportedly takes on the Black Panther mantle. With T'Challa also confirmed to be dead in the MCU, keep in mind, he was alive, very much alive in the last movie, but now, picking it up, he's confirmed to be dead in the MCU. Many have voiced concerns as to how the franchise will proceed without its original lead. As Wakanda goes to war with Namor's underwater nation of Telacan, I don't know. Fans are preparing for a different flick to Black Panther, one which celebrates the legacy of its original star, celebrating the star, something that Chadwick Boseman did not stand for. the movie is celebrating its original star. Now, one of the movie stars has warned moviegoers what to expect to advance of the November release. He's warning you. Why would we need a warning going into such a movie that's full of love and honoring and good feeling? But he feels like he needs to warn us. During a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, or EW as I call it, M'Baku actor Winston Duke called for fans to alter their expectations for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Duke warned fans to avoid excuse me, guys. Only happens when I start filming. Duke warned fans to avoid expecting Wakanda Forever to be exactly like Black Panther, as the sequel is going to be its own thing. Winston Duke says, and it's also important to let go of any expectation that this movie will be Black Panther #1, or this movie will be Black Panther 1. Let go of the expectation that this movie will be Black Panther 1. Black Panther 1 was loved by everybody. They talked about the box office. They talked about the history that it made. And I said, there's a reason why that was, because people liked what they saw. They felt that it was refreshing, to see this black king in control, being heroic, making decisions, not a bumbling idiot, not absentee. People really, really needed that at the time. Kids needed that at the time. So he says this is going to be its own thing. This narrative has evolved, and it's changed, just like all the characters, just like the circumstances, and Wakanda itself. I just had to let go of the expectation of this being anything like the first movie and allowing this movie to be its own thing. So he himself said that he had to let go of the expectation of this being anything like the first movie, and allowing this movie to be its own thing. Guys, that does not sound good. And even if it does sound good, how does that relate to all of the kids who were inspired by the first movie, who want to see something similar to the first movie, who want something similar to the feeling that they had in the first movie? I told the story when I did my review of the original Black Panther that there was a moment in the film where my son grabbed my arm. He's much younger then. That was 4 years ago. He grabbed my arm. His voice hadn't even changed yet. And I remember it was the chase scene, where T'Challa, Black Panther, is on top of the car and he's riding on top of the car and it's all exciting and everything. And I remember my son grabbing my arm, pulling my arm and saying, Dad, after the movie is over, can we go to Toys R Us and get the action figure? Like right in the middle of the movie, And I remember thinking, I said to him, yes, son, yes, we can. And we did when Toys R Us was still around. We went to Toys R Us and we picked up his first Black Panther action figure. All right. And I remember being so proud and so happy. I was so thankful to Marvel, to Stan Lee, to Jack Kirby, to all of the people, and of course Chadwick Boseman, to all the people who made that moment possible when my son was so inspired and so happy and overjoyed that he couldn't wait for the movie to be over to get an answer from me. Dad, can we go get this action figure right away after the movie is over? And I was so happy about that. Now, how do you explain that to the kids? M'Baku, Winston Duke, all of these people, don't have any expectations, kids. Remember how you felt before? Inspired, like you could do anything, like you were full of hope. Leave none of that. This is its own thing. Okay, that works really well when you want to stick it to the fanboys and everything, but I don't represent just that. I represent, as you guys know, I represent my son. I represent all of the kids who are out here. I still feel like a big old kid myself. I'm not that removed from the excitement that you get from these movies when they're done correctly. But the advice here is alter your expectations. If your expectations are to be inspired, if they are to be entertained, if they are to be happy, and I guess you have to alter that, is what he's saying. In the same interview, Okoye actress Danai Gurira addresses the desire to really solidify that these characters in this world have an arc after the success of Black Panther. And she says, I think the most important was honoring our brother, our leader, and our king. That was the most important, not telling a good story. There are some people who believe that this was an impossible situation for Marvel. But see, it would be impossible if you didn't have confidence in your writers, if you didn't have confidence in the people who were doing casting, if you didn't have confidence in black talent. There are so many talented and gifted actors out there who could have picked this thing up that Chadwick Boseman paved the way for. He knew what he was doing. He was paving the way so that other people wouldn't have to work as hard as he did to bring something like this to the screen. You know, there are so many other talented actors out here who would love to get this opportunity, who could sell this, who could definitely nail it. You know, and you can win over your audience this way. It only takes a second for you to make a good first impression. They say you only get one chance to make a good first impression. If you get the right person with the right writers, put the right words in their mouth, get the right look on his face and everything, there's no reason why they shouldn't have recast T'Challa. No reason whatsoever. You know, it definitely would have been strong, you know, to see this. But of course, you know, like I said, people try to act like, oh, you know, maybe we'll just give it some time. We'll just let it go, you know, maybe for a few years. Of course, he'll be back soon. These people like severely underestimate the condition of a lot of these black neighborhoods. They underestimate the condition of young black kids and how they really were so inspired by the original Black Panther. Like, people act like they get it. You know, when it first came out, people acted like they understood the history that was being made and the impact that it was having on kids. Don't you know, not one kid should be allowed to go without every last little bit of hope that they can get. And if they can get that from a comic book movie, then I'm all for it. We don't have that luxury to just sit it out. Like I said, what I saw from my son when he said, "Dad, can I get this action figure?" You know, he was so proud. He was so happy. I wouldn't deny that any child. But that's what you're doing by releasing this movie and saying just accept that it's not going to be the history-making film that the first one was. It's not going to be inspiring to these kids. Alter your expectations, we're being told. That's just not fair, guys. You know, and you can say all you want, wait till the movie comes out. Okay, it's not, I said it millions of times, it's not a matter of whether it's going to be good. But Winston Duke is saying to you right here, it's going to be its own thing. It's going to be different. And that's my only point. Not that it's not going to be entertaining, you know, or it's not going to be groundbreaking or whatever the case may be. But it's going to be something different than what it was. And what it was something that was inspiring millions of kids. I told the story also how I went to go see Marvel live, you know, on stage with my son years ago. When Black Panther came out, the whole place erupted. No one knew Black Panther before that time except hardcore comic fans, you know, but what the movie did was open it up. It wasn't Chadwick Boseman that was on stage. It was another actor. Never did take off the mask. The whole stadium erupted. White kids, black kids, Indian, Asian, Spanish, everything. You know what I mean? And this is what you do. You turn around and say it's over. And somehow you think this is honoring this great man who said that it was about the work and not him. Like I said, you can love this all you want, but please don't lie to yourself. This is not about honoring that man. And it's not about misogyny. I hear some people starting to say that, but I told you that was going to happen in the last video as well. The closer we get to the release of this, you're going to see they're going to go heavy on the female aspect of it, on the black female aspect of it. And of course, if you're critical about that, then it's going to be an issue. You're misogynist. You hate women. You're an incel. It's going to be all of that. But I know. Wait till the movie comes out. I know. You won't know until the movie comes out. That's actually not true. Winston Duke is saying right here, it's going to be something different, and that's what I object to. All right, guys. So anyway, that's it. You're going to hear me talk about this more on the Dark Council. It's going to be starting in about a half an hour if you're watching this you know, on Wednesday, you know, probably about 8:10 is when I'm releasing this. So, yeah, we'll be talking about this more in the Dark Council on Drunk 3PO's Basement. So come on by, guys, and check us out. So anyway, I appreciate you guys listening. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.